What if I told you the moment that sparked everything? ChatGPT, autonomous cars, smart homes, AI therapists started with a tiny group of thinkers in a drafty New Hampshire building in 1956. That's where the phrase artificial intelligence was born. Not in Silicon Valley, but at Dartmouth College, over coffee, chalk, and ideas way ahead of their time. It was called the Dartmouth Summer Research Project on Artificial Intelligence. Sounds formal, right? But what happened there? That was the spark, and you might be surprised how close and how far they were from imagining what we've got now. The Dartmouth Dream Summer, 1956. Eisenhower's in the White House. Elvis is climbing the charts. And in a classroom at Dartmouth, a small group of scientists gathers around a chalkboard. Their goal? Every aspect of learning or any other feature of intelligence can in principle be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate it. That was written in the proposal. It was bold, a little cocky maybe, but also kind of prophetic. No tech expos, no flashy keynotes, just raw ambition and academic grit. The original AI ganglet's talk names John McCarthy, the guy who coined the term artificial intelligence, Marvin Minsky, co-founder of MIT's AI lab, Claude Shannon, father of information theory. Alan Newell and Herbert Simon built the earliest AI programs. They weren't all engineers. Some were psychologists, others mathematicians, but they all had one mission: make machines that could think. And by think, they didn't mean autocomplete or suggest your next playlist. They meant real problem solving, reasoning, maybe even creativity. What they got right and what they missed, here's the wild part. They thought they could crack AI in a summer. 8 weeks. That's what they planned for. 8 weeks to build human-level intelligence. Turns out, it took a bit longer. Still, they got a few things right. They knew symbolic logic could help machines reason. They predicted pattern recognition and learning were critical. They even imagined language understanding. But they missed the messiness, emotions, nuance, context. You can't teach a machine to write poetry just by giving it a dictionary, right? The AI winter after the initial buzz, progress stalled. Funding dried up, skeptics pounced. AI entered the so-called AI winter. It wasn't that the dream was wrong. It's just the tools weren't ready. The computing power, the data, the real-world applications. So AI went underground, academic, slow-moving, waiting for its moment. The silent revolution, data and power, fast forward to the early 2000s. The internet explodes. GPUs get cheaper. Big data becomes a thing. Machine learning and deep learning go from academic theory to real-world tech. Suddenly, AI could learn from images, sounds, and especially text. The revolution had quietly begun. And then came OpenAI. ChatGPT changes everything. In late 2022, the world met ChatGPT. It didn't just respond, it conversed. It cracked jokes, wrote essays, explained code, even drafted love letters. It wasn't sentient, but it felt real. And for the first time, AI wasn't just a tool. It was a presence, a voice, something people actually enjoyed interacting with. So, did the Dartmouth guys win? Would McCarthy and Minsky be proud? Probably. And maybe a little scared. We've come farther than they ever dreamed. And yet we're still chasing their original question. Can machines think? Kind of. But do they feel? Do they understand? Not quite. Ask GPT-4 to explain quantum physics and it will. Ask it how heartbreak feels. You'll get poetry, not pain. From chalkboards to neural nets, think about that journey. From dusty chalkboards in a Dartmouth lecture hall to trillion-parameter models running in the cloud. This isn't just a technical story. It's cultural. It's human. Because every prompt, every chatbot reply, every AI-generated song, it all started with a handful of dreamers and one big question. Next time you chat with an AI, just remember where it started. One room, one summer, one idea that refused to die. The future doesn't write itself, but sometimes it types really, really fast.